Ken has to be so embarrassed. He deserves everything that's happening because he's just as responsible as Gyp for breaking up a marriage. You get what you deserve. Absolutely. I completely agree with this comment. Because not only is Gypsy responsible for breaking up her marriage and cheating on her husband, Ken and Christy are responsible as well for breaking up that marriage and for everything that happened after that. So again, who is ultimately responsible for all of this? All of them. Christy, Ken, and Gypsy are all responsible for the affair, for the cheating and breaking up the marriage between Gypsy and Ryan, for getting pregnant by a man that wasn't her husband. They are all responsible for this circus that is currently happening.
The ongoing drama between Ken Urker and Gypsy Rose Blanchard. If you've been following their story, you already know it's messy, it's dramatic, and honestly, it's a little exhausting. But there's so much more to unpack here that we just can't look away. Here's the thing, relationships are complicated and in the spotlight, unresolved issues and some questionable decisions, and you've got the perfect recipe for chaos. Today we are breaking this down piece by piece, focusing on their latest video, the unresolved paternity drama, and the backlash Gypsy Rose is facing from the public. And trust me, it's a lot. Let's start with the video that everyone has been talking about.
Okay, so I'm trying to... Okay, I'm gonna put it over here, and then y'all could try to put this on.
Oh, yeah. She was dyslexic. People trying to put something together, but we don't know what the shit we're doing.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Alright, you need some help?
Yeah.
Alright, so this goes under my boob.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
This
like
feels
that.
good right here.
Yeah.
Nice and comfortable.
Okay,
Yeah.
grab
So-
this on.
How many people it takes?
Alright, now it goes under the belly.
This goes, and then pull it.
And then
You pull it, and then I'm
like
gonna
secure it.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Oh, look at that.
And it'll give you support on your back.
Yeah, the back
Just
support.
your waistline.
Oh yes. Okay. So,
How comfortable does it feel, Jen?
no, it feels comfy.
Oh,
It
it's like a
doesn't
corset.
feel. It doesn't feel bad.
Awesome. And it's pink. And
Yeah,
it's cute.
they had the black one. This one is from Mom Cozy, and so it is a belly band.
Which you needed.
Yes, it is very comfortable.
And this
Gypsy, what are you doing here? No, really, what are we doing here? Now, listen, I know you want that post up. I know it. I know you're going to keep it up. That's real fine. But listen, don't take mans down because I was going to send love notes to Rans. I guess I'll take that as you wouldn't send them. You're not going to pass that there? You wouldn't help a sister? No job can. Leave my mans alone. You're going to have to leave him alone because he don't want you. He was going to take my letters and not give them to writing. That's what... I knew it.
On the surface, it seemed like just another piece of content from Gypsy Rose Blanchard. But the glaring absence of Ken wasn't something you could miss. And frankly, it felt deliberate. For a couple that has frequently appeared together in the past videos and lives, showing an image of togetherness, this sudden shift in the dynamic raised a lot of eyebrows. In this video, Gypsy Rose was joined by Christy. While their interactions seemed normal enough, it was the void left by Ken's absence that spoke louder than anything said on camera. Viewers immediately took to the comments asking, "Where is Ken? Why isn't he in this video?" And it wasn't just a question. It was an accusation, an acknowledgement that something is clearly not right between the two. If you've been keeping up with their story, you know this isn't just a random absence. This is the fallout from a series of events, each one chipping away at the image of a happy and united couple that they have tried so hard to maintain. It's no secret that the tension has been building between them, especially since Gypsy Rose's controversial comments about Ryan during her live videos. Let's not sugarcoat this. Those comments were reckless. They weren't just a casual mention or an offhand remark. No, they were laced with subtext. The kind that sticks in someone's mind long after the words have been spoken.
But for me, it's kind of like, don't sit there and then constantly be like, she's my wife, I can talk about her all I want. She's my wife, she's my wife, she's my wife. Well, looking at that video, that's my husband. That's my husband. He's slapping some girl's ass. That's my husband. We're still married. He's still married. I'm still married.
And for Ken, who's been navigating his own struggles with their relationship, this felt like a public betrayal. Ken's absence in this video wasn't just physical. It was symbolic. It represented the cracks in their relationship, the unresolved frustrations, the brewing resentment, and the widening emotional distance. This wasn't just a missing face. It was a statement, a silent acknowledgement that things are far from okay. And here's the thing, Ken isn't the type to hide his emotions. We've seen this in their public appearances, whether it was at the airport, Universal Studios, or the San Francisco Bridge. There is a visible discomfort, a tension in his body language that speaks volumes. He's upset, and this video was just another example of that discontent spilling out into the public eye.
So allegedly, Mr. Urkel is sick of little Miss Jip Jip shit, and he wants off the ride. Which is why he looks so categorically uninterested and unamused anytime they post a video together or they're filmed in the public together. A bunch of people called it. I called it. A bunch of big creators called it. Like, we all knew this was going to be short-lived because, you know, we got a pretty good personality profile for Jip Jip after sifting through years and years of bullshit and lies.
This begs the question, was this video a way for Gypsy Rose to assert her independence? To show the world and Ken that she doesn't need him? Or was it a subtle cry for attention? A way to stir the pot to keep people guessing? Either way, it's clear that the cracks in their relationships are becoming harder to hide. And her comments about Ryan, they didn't just feel like a casual reflection on the past. They felt loaded, as if she was trying to pull him back into her orbit, even though he's clearly moved on. And that's the key issue here. Ryan has moved on. He's been living his life, focusing on his happiness and seemingly staying out of the drama.
Now, I told you guys yesterday that Gypsy has been reaching out to Ryan, allegedly, telling Ryan that Ken is treating her like SHIT. And she feels like she made a mistake being with Ken, and she's sorry for what she did to Ryan.
But Gypsy Rose, she can't seem to let go. Her comments weren't just about expressing herself. They felt like an attempt to reclaim control, to remind Ryan that she's still a part of his story, whether he likes it or not. It's giving jealousy, it's giving possessiveness, it's giving I can't move on. Now, let's bring Ken into the picture. How do you think he feels watching this play out? This isn't just about Gypsy Rose's unresolved feelings for Ryan. It's about the blatant disrespect it shows towards Ken and their relationship. Imagine being in Ken's shoes. You're already dealing with the weight of being tied to someone as polarized as Gypsy Rose. You're navigating the public scrutiny, the constant need to defend your position, and the challenges of building a life together. And now, on top of all that, you're watching her publicly discuss another man in a way that feels far too familiar. It's no wonder Ken's frustration has been so evident, whether it's the strained interactions during public appearances or the underlying tension in their podcast interview. The cracks in their relationship are showing. And at the center of it all, this lingering connection between Gypsy Rose and Ryan, a connection that Ken can't seem to escape, no matter how hard he tries. And let's not forget the domino effect these comments have had. They haven't just caused tension between Ken and Gypsy Rose. They've also reignited public interest in her past relationship with Ryan. People are speculating, theorizing, and taking sides, turning what should have been a private issue into a full-blown spectacle. And honestly, that spectacle seems to be exactly what Gypsy Rose wants.
But I did file for divorce. I did go ahead and make that separation legally, and then got with Ken. And I'm happy. I'm happy in my life, and I want Ryan to be happy. There are very few times that I'm on live and I go off on about Ryan. I don't do all that. Now, when I'm asked in interviews about him, I always say the truth. I always say, hey, I hope he's healing. I hope he's doing well. I want good intentions for him. But that's that. That's it.
Because here's the thing, Gypsy Rose thrives on chaos. She's built her narrative around being a controversial figure, someone who can't be ignored. And her comments about Ryan are just another way to keep herself at the center of the conversation. But at what cost? For Ken, the cost is his peace of mind, his trust, and potentially his relationship. For Ryan, it's the constant pull back into a story he's clearly trying to move past. And for Gypsy Rose, well, it's just another day in the life of someone who seems more interested in maintaining control than finding resolution. The question now is, how long can this go on before the whole thing falls apart? Now, let's dive into one of the most sensitive and unresolved issues in this entire saga, the paternity test. For weeks, this topic has been looming in the background, casting a shadow over everything else. And yet, here we are, still without any clear answers or closure. It's the kind of drama that thrives in uncertainty, leaving everyone involved, Ken, Gypsy Rose, Ryan, and even the audience, in a state of limbo. Let's put ourselves in Ken's shoes for a moment. Imagine how he must feel. On one hand, he's trying to build a future with Gypsy Rose, but on the other, he's being dragged into a whirlwind of uncertainty and speculation. He's stuck in the middle, questioning his role not just as a partner, but as a potential father figure. And let's not forget the public scrutiny. Every move he makes, every interaction with Gypsy Rose is being analyzed under a microscope. It's a pressure cooker of emotions and expectations, and Ken's frustration is becoming increasingly evident.
This is a message to Ken Urker. Gypsy has had him block me, fucking obvious. If you can tag him in this video, I don't believe that he even knows that Gypsy has faked this. I believe Gypsy has done this behind his back with the help of Brie, without the facts. And they have got together and done this fake paternity test. The fact that she hasn't told you should tell you everything you need to know about who the fuck you're getting involved in. Surely that's enough disrespect and lack of morale to not only you, but to the unborn child and to Ryan Anderson. You guys are being pit against each other when really you guys need to see who the hell you're dealing with. Unbelievable. I hope you truly see who she is now.
And then there's Gypsy Rose. Instead of tackling this issue head on and resolving it in a way that's respectful and private, she's doing what she does best, stirring the pot. Whether it's cryptic comments, suggestive videos, or public statements that raise more questions than answers, she seems more interested in fueling the drama than putting it to rest. And that's the problem. Instead of taking accountability and focusing on finding a resolution, she's creating distractions, leaving everyone, including her audience, confused and exhausted. This lack of closure isn't just hurting the people directly involved. It's also eroding Gypsy Rose's public image. The longer this drags on, the harder it becomes to maintain any semblance of credibility. This lack of closure isn't just hurting the people directly involved. It's also eroding Gypsy Rose's public image. The longer this drags on, the harder it becomes to maintain any semblance of public credibility or trust. And for someone already dealing with so much backlash, this unresolved paternity drama is like pouring gasoline on a fire that's already out of control. What's the end game here? Is Gypsy Rose hoping the issue will just fade away on its own? Or is she deliberately keeping the waters muddy to maintain her hold on the narrative? Whatever the case, one thing is clear, this situation isn't just messy, it's damaging. And until there is a resolution, it's going to keep casting a shadow over everything else. Let's shift gears to another controversy that's been making waves. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's so-called influencer career. Recently, she posted a video promoting a product from Amazon, claiming it's been a game changer for her. At first glance, it seemed like just another social media post. But dig a little deeper and the story becomes much more complicated. Here's the deal. Many people believe Gypsy Rose received this product for free as part of an influencing deal. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that normal for influencers? And you would be right if you were talking about someone who's built a legitimate career as an influencer. But Gypsy Rose isn't exactly known for that. Her lifestyle, her choices, and her history don't exactly scream credible influencer, and that's where the criticism comes in. Let's break it down. Being an influencer isn't just about posting pretty pictures or promoting products. It's about trust, it's about authenticity, and most importantly, it's about connecting with your audience in a way that feels genuine. But when it comes to Gypsy Rose, people are questioning whether she has the credibility to pull this off. Her past actions, her ongoing controversies, and her tendency to stir up drama make it hard for anyone to take her seriously in this role. This isn't just about the Amazon product, it's about the bigger picture. Gypsy Rose has built her public persona on being a polarizing figure. She's someone who thrives on attention, whether it's positive or negative. But when you are trying to position yourself as an influencer, that kind of reputation can be a double-edged sword. because while controversy might keep people talking, it doesn't build the kind of trust you need to succeed in that space. The backlash to this Amazon video wasn't just about the product, it was about the motives behind it. People saw this as another example of Gypsy Rose trying to manipulate her audience, using her platform not to connect with her followers but to exploit them. And that's the dangerous game to play, especially when your credibility is already on shaking ground. What's even more telling is how Gypsy Rose has responded to the criticism, or rather, how she hasn't. Instead of addressing the backlash directly, she's doubled down on her usual tactics: cryptic posts, deflective comments, and a refusal to engage with the concerns people are raising. It's a pattern we've seen time and time again, and it's one that's only adding fuel to the fire. At the end of the day, this Amazon controversy isn't just about a product or a video. It's about what it represents: a growing discontent between Gypsy Rose and her audience. And unless she starts taking accountability and rebuilding that trust, this controversy and the ones that are sure to follow will continue to define her public image. If you thought the Amazon controversy was bad, buckle up, because the situation with Gypsy Rose Blanchard posting her address takes things to a whole new level. Recently, Gypsy Rose decided to share her address online in what many are calling a blatant attempt to solicit gifts or freebies from her followers. She didn't outright say, "Send me stuff," but the implication was crystal clear. It was one of those cryptic moves that left people shaking their heads.
That I am obsessed with Gyp shit and stalk her, but look with what y'all are doing. Look, y'all are giving me proof to build up against y'all. Do you realize that? Do you realize that? You don't know if I have a lawyer or not.
Is this really happening? And this is where Amber J comes in. If there is one thing Amber J knows how to do, it's calling out nonsense when she sees it. In her signature, no holds barred style, Amber J didn't mince words. Gypsy Rose out here posting her address like we don't know what she's doing. Girl, we see you. You're not silk. You want people to send you stuff without actually asking for it, and it's giving desperate. Amber's reaction echoed a sentiment of many who have been watching this unfold. Because here's the thing, when you're already under the fire for things like Amazon controversy and your ongoing relationship drama, posting your address, whether explicitly for gifts or not, just feels manipulative. It's like throwing gasoline on the fire that's already burning out of control. Amber didn't stop there. She went on to highlight the calculated nature of this move, saying, "She's out here playing the long game, trying to make it seem like she's relatable or in need. But we know what's up. Posting your address like that isn't innocent, it's strategic. And it's a slap in the face to anyone who's genuinely supported her." For someone in Gypsy Rose's position, this decision wasn't just tone deaf. The public isn't stupid. People can read between the lines, and they know when they're being played. By sharing her address, Gypsy Rose essentially turned her followers into potential benefactors, certainly nagging them toward sending her gifts without ever having to explicitly ask. It's the kind of move that feels manipulative at best and exploitative at worst. Amber J's doubled down on this point, adding, "It's one thing to build a connection with your audience, but it's another to use them. Posting your address like that is not just about wanting gifts. It's about seeing how far you can push people to do things for you without outright saying it."
He was gonna take my letters and not give them to Ryan. That's what I knew it. Gyp Dip said that she's yours and you're hers. Okay, so no job can. You're gonna have to just stick it out. I'm still gonna send my love notes over to the Rara, my Pookie, my little hashtag he got a jab. So can do not have them and then mark XOXO can. I know you love him. Just give him the letters, please. Please pass my letters, okay? Just pass my letters to Ryan. I'm gonna send some, okay? Not for you, but it's real fine. Just help a sister out. Be nice, Gypsy. Gyp Dip, be nice.
What's even more frustrating for her critics and even some of her fans is the timing of this move. Gypsy Rose is already embroiled in so much controversy, from the paternity test drama to her comments about Ryan and the tension with Ken. Adding this to the mix just makes her seem more out of touch. Instead of addressing the real issues, or taking accountability for her actions, she's out here subtly asking for handouts. Amber J wasn't afraid to call out this either. You want to talk about mental health, about needing a break from negativity? Cool, we get that. But don't turn around and post your address like people aren't going to call you out for it. You can't have it both ways. You can't ask for privacy and then dangle your personal life in front of your followers like a bait. And while it's easy to point fingers, the real question is, what's next for Gypsy Rose? Will she take accountability, or will the psychodrama continue? Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. If you have thoughts, opinions, or just want to vent about the chaos, drop them below. Let's talk.